listening to the Post-Apocalyptic Media Podcast, your source for all the latest post-apocalyptic news.
Hello and welcome back to the Post-Apocalyptic Media Podcast. I'm your host, Sean, senior editor here at Post-Apocalyptic Media, and this is episode number 80. And in this one, I'm going to talk about Walking Dead, Black Mirror, Handmaid's Tale, the Fallout series on Amazon, Isle of the Dead, which is the Walking Dead spinoff. There's a lot. There's just a lot to talk about. I wasn't here last week, so it's like a double episode, but still the same amount of time. I don't know how I do it. How do I do that? How do I fit all that in? Well, it's the secret is talking quickly. Anyway, so the first little thing I want to talk about is the walls of Alexandria are coming down. Now, if you're not a Walking Dead fan, you might not know what Alexandria is, but Alexandria and Hilltop are both set locations and towns, I guess, settlements in The Walking Dead. They've been in several seasons of the show, and Alexandria has been iconic because it has these metal walls that go all the way around. Well, that's an actual location. This is a set it's in Sonoy, Georgia, and it's set up there. It's been set up there for years. Well, now they're tearing it down. They're actually tearing down those iconic walls. There are actually some tour companies. Georgia Tour Company, I think it's called, it has been, showing people this location. And of course, I don't think you can go in it, but I think you can at least go there and see the outside of it. And what's crazy is, I'm kicking myself. I only live maybe 2 hours away from this. And here I am, wishing I would have gone there, at least touch the wall, because I'm a big Walking Dead fan, and it would have been great to go there and just kind of see where this has been filmed, right? Well, it's done. My chances is over. Hilltop and Alexandria are both being torn down, which, it's an end of an era. The show is done. They finished filming. Now we just have a few episodes left of this last season that they're going to show here in a couple months. And then that'll be it. The show, the legacy of the show will live on in all the spin-offs, which we'll talk about one of them here in a little bit. But the main Walking Dead show will be done either at the end of this year, I think maybe even the beginning of next year. So we'll see. All right, on to the next bit of news. Resident Evil released on Netflix last week. Now, here's the thing about it. I did check it out. I actually watched about 5 minutes of the first episode before I had to turn it off because it's stupid. I know I shouldn't be like that, but it's the truth. It's not. I don't know. It wasn't very good. I probably will give it another chance. It just at the time I just couldn't sit and watch it. But I feel like my opinion of it is kind of mirrored in the opinion of critics, professional critics who are given like early access to this stuff and, check it out before it launches and stuff like that. So I'm going to read a few of these. Like Collider gave it a 2.5 out of 10. 2.5, that's really bad. And here's a quote from Collider. They say, Resident Evil as a universe has such a rich history with decades worth of characters, stories, and mysteries to dive into. Netflix's Resident Evil does its best to integrate these into a more expansive series, but it flounders under poor execution, awkward performances, and fan service that rarely works. There's a great Resident Evil adaptation in here somewhere, but like the zeros scattered throughout the show, Resident Evil mostly just bites. Ouch. Ouch. That's not a very good one. Not a very nice one. The Independent gave it a 4 out of 10. The Guardian gave it 4 out of 5. And there were some that actually gave it, like GameSpot. GameSpot was praising it. They said that while this might not be the first Resident Evil adaptation, it's off to a strong start to claim the award, listen to this, for the best adaptation we've yet seen. Now that's quite a title, considering the fact that we've had. I mean, do we count the board game? Do we count the comic books, the graphic novels? Do we count? I mean, and then you look at the movies, right? There's several movies, which are, some of them are really, really good. But GameSpot is actually calling this the best adaptation they've yet seen. I don't know. So he says it's not a shot at the beloved movie franchise, but simply a nod to the idea that Netflix's take feels more at home in the video game world. Its storytelling approach of unfolding the plot at two separate points in time over a decade apart keeps things unique and engaging. So the plot is 2022, before the apocalypse happens. You get to see the family, the Wexler family before that, and then you get to see it afterward in 2036, I believe it is. So you get to see kind of, as the family, the daughter searches for her sister, the whole thing, right? And we were introduced to this family before in the games, right? But this is a focus on that family, the Wexler family only, and it kind of explores their story. Again, I'm telling this from what I know of the previous movies and the games, and what I've read about the movie. I have not seen. I mean, TV show. I keep saying movie, TV show. This is a TV show. So from what I haven't seen this TV show, so I don't know firsthand. So don't take my word for it, is what I'm saying. Check it out for yourself. It's on Netflix right now. And it's actually, I don't know if it still is, but for a while there, it was the #1 TV show on Netflix. You know how they like to do the ranking and show it right there on the front page when you log in? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. NME gives it 3 out of 5. The Telegraph gives it 4 out of 5. So a lot of these aren't horrible scores. Hidden Remote gives it 7.5 out of 10. It's just a couple of them that were really, really not nice. And if you look at the comments in like the trailer for the series, a lot of the comments are very, very negative. People, I don't know, they don't like it. And these are not professional critics, of course, which is good and bad. But they a lot of fans of the games are basically saying this has nothing to do with the games, doesn't follow the games. Wexler is completely different person. Like, he's just, his attitude and the way he acts and everything is completely different. So I think it turned a lot of people off. So I don't know. Again, I have to check it out completely. All right, next little bit of news here is from Black Mirror. Yes, there's going to be another season of Black Mirror. It's been 3 years. Of course, we had the pandemic happen and things like that, but it's been 3 years since we've seen a new episode of Black Mirror. Series 6 is what this is going to be. Now, they call their seasons series. If you follow along with Black Mirror, if you've watched it, the first couple seasons were on BBC, I think BBC, Channel 4 in the UK. And they were very, like 3 episodes here, 3 episodes there. And then they started doing a few more. I think they had 6 episodes in, let's see, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, which never works. I think they had 6 episodes in season 4, because I know series 5 had only 3 episodes. They went back to the 3 episode format, and it threw some people off. They're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Well, they're already saying that, the producers have confirmed that series 6 will have more than 3 episodes. Does that mean 4 episodes, or does it mean 6, or does it mean 12? I don't know. But I love Black Mirror. It's a really great show. It's like sci-fi. It's like dystopian sci-fi meets Twilight Zone. You have these short little short little stories in the anthology. You have these short little stories in an anthology format, right? And it works. Brilliant shows. Anyway, so for Series 6, we have word of a few stars that are going to be in this. We have Aaron Paul, who's in Breaking Bad. He's in Westworld. You probably know him best from Breaking Bad, right? We have Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2, Kate Mara from Fantastic Four, Josh Hartnett, who looks exactly the same as he did when he was in Black Hawk Down like 20 years ago. I don't know how he does it, but Josh Hartnett's going to be in it. Danny Ramirez from Top Gun Maverick, and a few others. I have a whole list in this article of all of the actors who are going to be in this next season. Now, Aaron Paul has actually been in a previous episode. I don't know if you remember that, but he has been. So he's no stranger to Black Mirror. But I'm excited to see this. I like all these actors. They're quality actors. So it seems like Black Mirror has never really shied away from having stars. Of course, they had Miley Cyrus on an episode one time, and a lot of people have called that the worst episode, which it wasn't that bad. But I think having Miley Cyrus on it helped. She's not, dare I say, relevant anymore. I don't know. If you're a fan, I apologize. But the Miley Cyrus of 4 years ago, whenever she was on the show, is completely different. And so having her on the show was a big deal at the time. But fans have voted that one of the worst episodes. So I don't know. All right. Next little bit of news here. Handmaid's Tale is approaching season 5, right? And to help celebrate that, they've released a season 5 trailer. So Stephanie's done a lot of analysis of not only the trailer, but also hints and like clues and things we've heard about season 5, what the plot is supposed to be and where the show is going. Because a lot of people say, wait a minute, how in the world is this show still going after, the escape? And I won't get into spoilers, but it changed a lot. And I think we pretty much, didn't we reach the end of the book a couple seasons back? But Margaret Atwood has written another book. So I believe they're taking up from there. But anyway, so this trailer, Stephanie, like I said, Stephanie goes through it and she kind of breaks it down and talks about every little point that she noticed from the trailer. I'm just going to go over these points real quick. So one is June wants Serena to know that she's to blame for the commander's death. Another point is the fact that we see stuff like we see Serena doing yoga, and then June says, "I feel Gilead pulling me back." So, take that as you will. We see Nick. Nick is back. He's in this trailer. We see Luke wants June to know that she's safe. That's another point because they show on the plane, there's a scene of Serena actually leaving the plane. June's husband, Luke, tells her she can't get to you, so you've just got to forget about her. So it's still, it's like this battle between June and Serena, which, hey, it's deserved, right? They've been battling it out since season 1, and it's pretty crazy. But here's one that kind of scares me. Serena is growing more powerful and amassing a following. Yikes. Yikes. So Aunt Lydia's back too. That's another thing that we noticed from this trailer. June is seen running, and things are getting tense in Canada. Now, June running, there's two things you can count on in Handmaid's Tale. It's a close-up of June's face and June running, right? Some kind of emergency is always happening. Luke may end up in jail is another point. So go check out this article. Check out the trailer if you have not already. I'll put a link to it, of course, as I always do. But check out Stephanie's analysis and the trailer itself. Good stuff. I have to catch up on this show. Another running theme here is I need to catch up on the show. All right. Next little bit of news is from Tales of the Walking Dead. Now, Tales of the Walking Dead is a spin-off of The Walking Dead. It is an anthology where it's going to tell, there's 6 episodes, so it's the story of 6 different people. Some of them are old, Some of them are new, characters, not age. And, we've been teased before about some of the actors who are going to be part of this cast. Since each one is its own story, each episode is its own story that tells like kind of a backstory. One of the returning characters, I guess you could say, from The Walking Dead into Tales of the Walking Dead is Alpha. You might remember Alpha from, what was that, season 9? Somewhere around there. The people who cut the faces off and, put the skin of their enemies on there and made faces. They basically did it so they could hide amongst the zombies, which was a great season. So I think we're going to get the backstory there. It looks in the trailer almost like she's talking to a young girl who might be Lydia, her daughter, who later joins the good guy side, and all that. Spoiler alert. So we get a good look at this trailer for Tales of the Walking Dead. It has Terry Crews. Terry Crews, of course, a funny guy. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love his character there. And then we have Olivia Munn is with him in this trailer. So they're probably going to be together in the same story. We have Piper Posey, who I'm a big fan of Piper Posey. Jillian Bell is in the same scene as Piper Posey. Now, here's what I'm getting out of the Piper Posey section of the trailer. We saw in a previous trailer, Piper Posey kind of moved her collar down and let a zombie bite her neck. She kind of turned around, she lowered the collar, and she's like, go ahead, bite my neck. Well, in this trailer, we see Piper and Jillian Bell's characters talking to each other, and she says, something to the effect of, "Are you ready to do something crazy, or do you want to do something new?" Here she says, "You want to try something new." I just found this on the article. So, and Jillian Bell's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I figure they're probably bored after the apocalypse. There's no TV anymore. There's no Netflix. There's no AMC. There's no post-apocalyptic media podcast in the apocalypse. So they get bored and they just want to turn into zombies. I don't know. But what's crazy is it looks like that is the first episode, and that episode is called The Heist. So does that mean they want to turn into zombies and do a heist? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but we can only speculate at this point. And like I mentioned, Alpha's character's coming back, played by Samantha Morton. We also have a few other pretty big stars. We have Anthony Edwards, who was in Top Gun. He was a doctor in ER, right? That guy. But I am excited for this anthology series because I first of all, I love anthologies, and second of all, I love backstories, and Walking Dead. It has Walking Dead, and I love Terry Crews. It's just everything in one. It's just amazing. August 14th is when the first episode is coming out, and that will be on AMC Plus and AMC. So check that out. Tales of the Walking Dead. All right. Speaking of The Walking Dead, we have more Walking Dead stuff, right? The Walking Dead stuff does not end. We all know who Jeffrey Dean Morgan is, right? Every fan of Walking Dead, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He plays Negan. The guy with the leather jacket and the baseball bat he named Lucille. He is, at this point, I point this out in this article I write, at this point, he should probably just be like AMC's social media coordinator. Because the guy, everything he tweets about Walking Dead, people go nuts over. Well, here's another example. He tweeted a picture of the script for Isle of the Dead. Now, if you're following along at home, we have The Walking Dead ending this year or next year. We have Tales of the Walking Dead, the anthology series that's starting in less than a month. And then we have Isle of the Dead, which is Negan and Maggie, their story. They're in New York City. They're in Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, which, that's where you get the name Isle of the Dead. And it's kind of an interesting story because a lot of people are like, wait a minute. Negan and Maggie, what? No, they're not. They're not going to hook up. That's not a thing. So just get that out of your head. There's not going to be a Negan and Maggie hookup. And I think, Maggie pointed this out. Well, the actress who plays Maggie, Lauren Cohen, she pointed out that they tolerate each other. And in Isle of the Dead, they're basically going to continue tolerating each other. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, angry back and forth and, stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But it's cool to know that the filming has begun, right? They started filming in New York City and New Jersey too. And B, that it's going ahead, it's going ahead with production, because we know that the other spinoff that was supposed to be the Daryl and Carol spinoff isn't happening because Carol basically can't do it, So it's good to know that we have the Isle of the Dead going, and the Walking Dead universe is continuing and it's going on, and it's going to live on with Negan. Never thought I'd say that. Did you ever think about that? Like when you first saw Negan, the guy was a complete jackass. He did some stuff that, I think isn't really a spoiler anymore. That was several years ago. I think everybody knows what happened to Glenn, right? So he's done some of the biggest, most heinous stuff, bad stuff in the series, right? So who would have ever thought that at this point he was going to be a protagonist? And not only that, he's going to have his own spin-off. Well, he and Maggie have their own spin-off. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan seems very optimistic about this. He literally says, "Here we go," right? With this photo of the script. Very cool stuff. I'm excited about it. I think everyone, most fans are, I don't know, maybe not excited. Maybe that's not the word. Just curious. We're curious to see where they go with this. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Next little bit of news is from the world of Fallout. Amazon, of course, is working on a Fallout series, which we already knew. We've already known some of the cast announcements. We had Walton Goggins, who is, he's the guy, every time you see him, he always plays a bad guy, and it's usually in a Western. He was in Justified. He's in a couple other movies, but he's never really the star. He's never like the lead actor, but we're speculating that he might be the lead actor in this Fallout series. We do know that he's playing a ghoul, and Tina actually wrote something up back in February, I think it was, that asked that question. Are we going to have a ghoul as the main protagonist in the Fallout series? Which would be great. I think that would be cool. I think it would be a really cool angle. Of course, it's not the rotter ghoul. If you're a Fallout fan, you know that there are two types of ghouls. There are the type that are basically exactly like humans, except they have ghoul faces, and then there are the ones that just moan and act like zombies. Well, so he's going to play, I assume, the intelligent ghoul, and this picture he posted. He posted something on his Instagram where it's a picture of him. And in the back, there's a little piece of paper that someone wrote ghoul with a Sharpie, and he's just under the picture, just chilling out. And he says, "Day 1, Fallout for Amazon. Deep breath, exhale. Let's see where this road goes want to." I think he didn't. I think he just meant goes to. So what he's saying is, this is another show. This Isle of the Dead and Fallout are both starting filming at the same time, the same week. So in, whatever it'll be, a year, 2 years from now, we're going to get some good stuff, right? I'm excited for the Fallout. I've been a Fallout fan forever. I played the spiritual predecessor of Fallout. It was Wasteland in 1988. And I've written articles about how much of a Wasteland fanatic I was as a kid. I met Brian Fargo, which was crazy. The guy is he's like my idol, or at the time. And So, and you go on from there. There's Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I love them all for various reasons. I don't hate any of them for any reason. I think that I just, they're different games. But I love all. Oh, and who can forget New Vegas, right? How in the heck did I leave New Vegas off that? Even Fallout 76. I haven't played it a ton. I maybe have like 20 hours into that. But again, another great game. The Fallout universe is rich. It's deep. And to see some of the things they've done already, with this series, we have behind the scenes photos that someone took on Staten Island. And I love it because it's like someone there saw a supermarket that was kind of decked out and it said Super Duper Mart. Now, you might remember Super Duper Mart is in all the Fallouts, but in Fallout 3, it's pretty much the first place you go after you leave Vault 101, right? So it's iconic, Super Duper Mart. They made this. There were all of these vehicles out front that looked very like, retro Americana, 50s, 40s. They look like actual vehicles, but they're just a little bit different. They're like completely new kinds of vehicles. They had a few of those sitting out front, and they had some armored up ones. So it looks like it looks true. It looks like that's really a filming location, where they're doing this. So that's exciting. I don't know. I'm just beyond excited to see it. And if you haven't seen those photos yet, I have a link to the Twitter account of the guy who took the photos. He actually took a bunch because people went crazy, as you can imagine, and told him to go back and take more photos. So he went back and a couple days he went back and took a bunch of photos, all on his Facebook on his Twitter, and I linked to all those, most of them, in the article. So check that out. And as far as news, that's pretty much it. There's a lot more. Peter Dinklage is going to be in the Hunger Games prequel, right? That's pretty cool. Peter Dinklage is an amazing actor. I have the YouTube roundup for this week. Tina did another book review for Immortal North by Tom Stewart. We have Stray coverage. Stray, if you haven't seen that game yet, let me just give you kind of a quick review. Okay, it's a puzzle game, right? You're a cat. You're in a post-apocalyptic city. You're figuring out little puzzles. It's very, if you like stuff like, I don't know. There are a lot of games where you have to find one thing and give it to someone, and then they have to use that item to give you the next thing in the line. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a progressive puzzle. Very cool. But all that stuff aside, the gameplay is amazing. All that stuff aside, the model for the cat is, I just want to be a cat all day in this game. You know what I mean? You just run around, you knock stuff off the table, and it's kind of a thing that you do in the game. It's actually, you actually get achievements for doing stuff like scratching doors and rugs and couches and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. But even beyond that, even beyond the story and the character model and the fun things you can do as a cat, the environments are incredible. It's really, really, really well done. I think that it just to be in that world is totally worth it. Now, it's a little gated. There's a lot of places you can go, but it's not a true open world. There's a lot of places where you're kind of stuck. I'm about 30% through the game right now, according to the achievements that I've gotten. And so that's kind of, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not even halfway through the game yet, and I'm giving commentary. But as far as initial first impressions, it's a really, really, really good game. Totally worth the money. I think I got it for $24. I think it's on sale. Totally worth it. Very, very fun game, especially if you're a cat lover. If you hate cats, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But Stray's a great game, and we do have coverage of that. We have I've been playing it on our Twitch channel, I've been live streaming it, and those videos go to our YouTube channel. So if you miss the Twitch, in a couple days, it will be on our YouTube channel, and you can check that out anytime. Also, Alone Season 9 recaps. I just started watching. I'm not caught up to where the show is. It's on episode 8 right now. I'm on like episode 3. Boy, I love that show. That Alone is such a great show. It just keeps getting better and better. So Tina writes up those reviews and recaps. Check those out. And like I said before, tons of Handmaid's Tale Season 5. Speculation and analysis and all that kind of stuff. Check that out. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We have some Westworld stuff. We have some more Resident Evil stuff. Lots of great stuff on the site. And if you have not already, check us out on our social media. Check us out, especially check out Twitch, right? Even if you're not a huge live stream fan, if you're a game fan, check it out. Because I play a couple great games. I play Endzone on there, which is like a post-apocalyptic city builder. Stray I've been playing Flotsam, which is another kind of floating city builder. Raft, incredible game. I think I talked about that last podcast. I've been playing some really, really great. I just play post-apocalyptic games. So if that's all you want to see, that's the place to watch it. But yeah, check all that out. I want to thank all of you for listening. This has been fun. And make sure that you catch me next time and catch me on Twitch. If you catch me on Twitch, tell me you're a podcast listener and tell me hi. And I will give you a special gold star. I don't know what that is yet, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening. As always, stay alive out there and always be ready for the big one. Bye-bye.